Hello everyone, welcome to Mechanical Engineering online classes. This is Shravanti Sriramoju. Hello friends, in this video we will learn how to draw a hypocycloid. Here we have a question. Draw the path traced by a point on a circle of radius 15 mm which rolls inside another circle of radius 60 mm for one complete revolution. Name the curve. So by definition of a hypocycloid, if we have a generating circle which is rolling inside another circle which is called directing circle, then the path traced by any point on that generating circle will be called as a hypocycloid. Now I will set my compass radius to 60 mm in order to draw the directing circle. Like this. I have named the center as O. Now I have chosen randomly one point P on the arc and I have joined O and P. Now from P I will measure a distance of 15 mm. I will mark that 15 mm point on OP line and I will name it as C. Now CP as radius. I am setting my compass radius to CP and I will draw a circle with center as C. So after drawing the circle, I will align my drafter scale to PO line. I will lock my drafter scale in this position. I will move the drafter scale to point C and I will draw a line like this. So this diameter is perpendicular to OP line. I will divide this circle into 12 equal parts. Divided the circle into 12 equal parts. If you do not know how to divide the circle into 12 equal parts, please follow the link given in the description box. Now our next step is to find out what is theta which is subtended by the directing circle at the center O. So the length of the directing circle, the length of this arc on the directing circle is known to us as 2 pi into small r. We will find theta value as 360 into small r divided by capital R. So how we got this formula is already explained in the previous video. You please check the link given in the description box. Now we shall calculate theta value. It is 360 into small r value is 15 divided by capital R value is 60. It will be 90 degrees. So from OP I will measure 90 degrees and I will draw a line from point O. O12 dash is the line which is at 90 degrees to OP line. Now the next step is to draw arcs passing through all the points on the generating circle. Now firstly I will set my compass radius to OC. OC is the radius on the compass and O as center I am drawing an arc. So this is the locus of center during its one complete revolution. Similarly, I will set my compass radius to O1 and I will draw another arc from center as O, and the same arc will also pass through 11 point. Now I will set my compass radius to O2 and I will draw another arc, and that arc also passes through point 10. I have repeated the same process for all other points. Now the next step is to divide P12 dash into 12 equal parts. I am using trial and error method here. After obtaining the points from 1 dash, 2 dash and so on up to 12 dash, now I am aligning my drafter scale to O1 dash point. This is O1 dash, this is 1 dash point. I am aligning my drafter scale to O1 dash, and I am drawing a line from 1 dash to O. So these lines should be very thin. All these are construction lines. Please use 2H pencil or H pencil for drawing construction lines, but don't use HB pencil. Similarly, I am joining O to 2 dash. I will repeat the procedure for all other points. So we have joined O1 dash, O2 dash and so on up to O11 dash. Now the purpose of this process, that is joining O to all the points, is to identify the instantaneous center. Now consider O1 dash line. It is intersecting the arc passing through the center, that is point C, at one point. Let me name that point as C1. Similarly, O2 dash line is intersecting the same arc, that is the arc passing through C at another point, and that point is named as C2. Similarly, I am identifying C3, C4. So these are the intersection points of these divisions with the central arc. I am naming them as C1, C2, C3 and so on up to C12. C11 and C12. Now after this, we have to draw the positions of point P during one complete revolution of the generating circle. For that, I am setting my compass radius to the radius of the generating circle, that is CP. CP is the radius on the compass, and after 1/12 of revolution, point 1 will come down because the generating circle is rotating in this direction. This is rolling in counterclockwise direction. So 1 will move to point P and P will move to point 11. That means point P will reach the height of point 11. After 2/12 of revolution, the same point P will reach the height of 10. So after 3/12 of revolution, it will reach the level, the height of the point 9. Okay, so this is moving in counterclockwise direction. It is rolling in counterclockwise direction. That's why I will draw arcs from the new center points from on the left side. Okay, so with C1 as center and CP as radius, I am drawing an arc on the 11-1 arc. I am cutting the 11-1 arc because after 1/12 of revolution, P will move to a height of point 11. Now with after 2/12 of revolution, with the same as radius and center C2, the point P will move to the height 10. I am drawing an arc on the left side, not on the right side. I am not drawing it in this way. Okay, I am drawing it like this on the left side because it is moving in this direction only, in the counterclockwise direction. With the same as center and with C3 as center and radius equal to CP, I am drawing an arc on the very immediate level, that is the arc passing through 3, 9. With C4 as center and radius equal to the radius of the generating circle, I am drawing an arc on the arc passing through 4, 8. That is the arc which is immediately next to 3, 9 arc. After that, C5 is center and radius is equal to CP. I am drawing an arc on the very next arc which is 5, 6 arc. 5, 7 arc. Now C6 as center. I am drawing an arc on the arc passing through 6. So it is this point itself. Okay, there is only one point here. See, it is one point. Now C7 is center and radius is equal to CP. I am drawing an arc on the arc passing through 5, 7. Now here I am using the right hand side arc because after P has moved to the topmost point, now it is moving downwards. Okay, that's why I have taken arc on the right side. Now C8 as center. I will draw an arc on the very next level. And C9 as center. Please don't cut the very next arc which is the central arc. You have to cut the arc which is passing through 3, 9. That is this. It is the arc 3, 9. Okay. Now C10 as center. Draw an arc on the very immediate arc. Now C11 as center. I am cutting an arc on the 11, 1 arc. Now C12 as center. I am drawing another arc which is the point which will be on the point 12 dash itself. Now I will slowly name all the points starting from P1, P2, this is P3, this is P4, P5, this is P6, P7, P8, P9, P10, P11 and this 12 dash, this point is P12. You don't have to name it separately, but for your clear understanding I have named it as P12. P12 and 12 dash will coincide. Now I will join all the points with free hand. Please use very slight pressure on your hand so that the pencil will not the pencil mark will not appear darker. Later on, after you confirm the shape of this curve, you have to darken it with HB pencil. Now I am satisfied with the shape of this curve. It is smooth enough, so I am darkening it with HB pencil. This is the hypocycloid. We should not forget dimensioning of generating circle because this is the given data. Whatever is given data, that you have to dimension. and whatever you have found out from calculations, that also has to be dimensioned. So I am dimensioning the radius of generating circle which is given in the data of the question, and the radius of the directing circle is also given in the question, and theta we have found out. So all the three dimensions I am doing here. Please keep the arrowheads in 1:3 ratio. I am mentioning the angle as theta is equal to 90 degrees, and I will take a radial line. Apart from the divisions, I am taking another radial line. I am extending it. This is R15, and I will also extend the directing circle a little. And I will draw a radial line. I will extend the radial line, and I will draw a horizontal line upon which I will write R60. The radius of the directing circle is R60. I am also drawing the arrowhead in 1:3 ratio. So 3 dimensions are important, and we have completed that. I will erase these arrows. So he also asked us to name the curve. So I am writing hypocycloid at the bottom of the figure. So apart from naming the curve as hypocycloid, I have also mentioned the calculations. These calculations are very important to indicate on the chart, because the examiner should understand how you got this 90-degree value. So for his clear understanding, this calculation has to be mentioned. Now I have drawn another hypocycloid where the generating circle radius is 15 and the directing circle radius is 40. In the example just now which we have solved, I have taken the dimensions as 15 and 60. In the new hypocycloid, I have taken the dimensions as 15 and 40. So here in the previous example which we just now solved, we got a clear curve, whereas when I changed the dimensions, that is the dimension of only directing circle I have changed from 60 to 40, I got a curve which looks much like a straight line. So for analyzing the reason behind this change, let us see the relationship between capital R and small r. So in the first case, where R is equal to 60 and capital R is equal to 60 and small r is equal to 15, R is very much lesser than half of capital R. It is only 1/4. If you see if you calculate R by capital R, it is only 1/4, which is very much less than half of the capital R. Okay, this is the reason for the curve to be very clear. Here we got a clear curve. Whereas in the second case, if you consider the second case, capital R is only 40 and small r is 15. So here what is happening to small r by capital R ratio? It is nearing to half of. It is nearing to 0.5. That means R is approximately half of the capital R. So when R by capital R ratio is nearing to half, the curve is tending to straighten. Now I want you to draw a hypocycloid with the dimensions R is equal to 80 mm and small r is equal to 40 mm, such that Small r is exactly equal to half of the capital R, and comment me the result.